Well, hello again. This is Ray Morales with The Blind Spot. And man, am I excited for my guest today. I have two beautiful young ladies here on the phone with me, and they're going to be talking to you about adaptive sports and how it pertains to people with disabilities in your area. So we'll start with Karen. Karen, how you doing? This is
I'm
Karen
doing
Lawrence.
well. How are you?
Doing fine. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Um, well, first of all, for those who cannot see me, I am a white woman with blonde hair and brown eyes. I'm in my middle 40s. And I run an adaptive sports program here locally in Indianapolis called the Rehabilitation Hospital of Indiana Sports Program, RHI Sports for short. And we've been running this sports program for almost 25 years. It is slowly grown. And we now are able to offer several different teams, up to 11 different teams. And we have a variety of different adaptive sports clinics throughout the year that people can participate in.
Awesome. And what do you do? Basically, what do you provide for the people out there?
So different things that we provide are we have wheelchair basketball teams, we have a sled hockey team, we have lacrosse, but we also have beep baseball, wheelchair tennis. Those are the types of teams that we have. We also have elite athletes because not everyone fits in a box of a specific team. So some of our elite athletes we've had a para triathlete, we've had a fencer, we've had someone who does water skiing. We also have a para lifter as well and someone who
Cool.
does fishing. So those are a variety of different things. Other things like clinics that we go downhill skiing. We're about to take a bunch of veterans out to Crested Butte to go downhill skiing.
Right, I've
We
heard of
also
that.
go locally to Perfect North. They have a wonderful adaptive sports program there. For adaptive skiing. We have our huge water ski clinic every year. That's one of our biggest events in the summer in June and July. We also go kayaking. We do bocce ball. We do yoga every week. We go boxing. Those are just some of the bowling, anything that's fun and recreational, we try to provide. So lots of different options.
Wow, you're trying to get them off their feet and move their meat.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Should be no excuse not to be active. We have something for everyone.
right. Cool. And now my second guest here, I'm going to jump back to you, Karen, in a minute, but I want to introduce her before I forget her name. Her name is Kat Bokamp. Kat, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, Ray. How are you?
I'm fine. Go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I was born with a physical birth defect called fibular hemimelia, which affects one of my lower limbs. And so growing up, I competed in the sport of wheelchair fencing, and I am a 2012 Paralympian and 13-time national champion in that sport.
Wow, look at you.
I know. I like to say I used to get paid to stab people for fun, so watch out. But after I competed at the games, I went to Indiana University and got degrees in rec therapy and nonprofit management. And after that, I worked at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. I worked at the U.S. Association of Blind Athletes, and I worked at USA Fencing. So, kind of ran the gambit of the national organization, a larger NGB, and a smaller NGB or national governing body.
Okay.
So I've worked in adaptive and Paralympic sports from the ground as an athlete all the way up to managing the Paralympic team. And now,
Awesome.
after those, I work as a consultant helping different sized organizations either start adaptive sports programs or maintain and grow their adaptive sports programs.
Wonderful. So I bet you find that very fulfilling.
I do. It's something that adaptive and Paralympic sport gave me my purpose. And so to be able to create programs to give other people purpose is really, it's what gets me up.
All right. So going back here to Karen. Karen, you said that you mentioned fencing, and so I guess Kat was the one you were talking about.
It is.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Um, I have to work on my superlatives or my adjectives because my wife says I say awesome and cool way too much. But it is awesome and it is cool that you guys, get in touch with people that can actually do these things, when they're blinded or disabled. You don't think of, the way I felt was when I lost my sight, I'm just no good anymore. I can't do anything. And so I sat at home for a long time and not doing anything at all. And then I started this podcast. And man, I've met people like Lonnie Bedwell. I'm sure you all know the name. But yeah, he is just an amazing person. He's out there climbing mountains and kayaking the Grand Canyon, all kinds of stuff. So there is life after blindness. And I guess there's life after any disability if you're willing to put in the work, right?
Yeah, I think the saying "if there's a will, there's a way"
Right,
takes on a new meaning when you have a disability, because it really is about making a way one way or another, kicking down the door to make sure you're involved at the party kind of thing.
right.
100%.
Karen, you got anything to add to that?
I totally agree with her 100%. You have to make your way and you have to figure things out.
Right. Hey, can you guys think of a person? I hate to put you on the spot real quick, but can you think of one person? I mentioned Lonnie, but someone else that you've dealt with one-on-one that has really made an impact in your life and impressed you with the progress they've made or what they've had to overcome?
In terms of, I guess I'm gonna steal it and go two for. I think in terms of general disability, someone with a physical mobility impairment, I would say is Jessica Long. She's a swimmer.
Hmm.
She was born with the same disability that I was born with, fibular
Uh-huh.
hemimelia, and so seeing someone um, overcome the same disability and going to great lengths and becoming a Paralympic gold medalist multiple times. Seeing that willpower is really inspiring. And then from a specifically visually impaired standpoint, I would honestly say, just in general, goalball athletes.
Right.
I think goalball is a really underrepresented, underappreciated sport, and so seeing all of the effort that a lot of the athletes in the sport of goalball really put in to make it to the Paralympic level and see all the dedication that they have is really something that I admire.
Yeah, and I would also go with we have an athlete here named Dan Reed. He is a wheelchair athlete and he does water skiing. And what's cool about him is he started the sport when he was in his 50s just by coming out to a clinic. He had never really water skied before,
Hmm.
and he kind of just tried it out. And all of a sudden, he's now an elite athlete with our water ski program. But what's
Amazing.
amazing about him is he is so focused on making sure other people have these opportunities and trying to get them water skiing. He will go above and beyond to find equipment and get them active and get them water skiing. And I just love that about him. And then all my kiddos who kind of just blossom from participating in adaptive sports, kind of like Kat did as a kid,
Hmm.
they don't realize everything that they can do, and all of a sudden they, just like with any kind of new disability, they blossom with the adaptive sport. And now they're off to scholarships in college and doing different things. And
Right.
then just from some of our coaches, like our beat baseball coach Leah Michaels, what she has done to make sure that everyone can play beat baseball at an elite level. I have no words for what she's been able to do,
That's cool.
because we
And
are like one
go
of the
again with
number
the
one
word
to,
cool.
what, you get the cool word.
But that is amazing. Um, that people can really, jump into it and put their whole heart into it, just like before their disability happened. If they were an athlete before, they can still be an athlete. You have to do it a little differently, but you can still do it and get to that level you were at before, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's cool. For me, I competed at the games in 2012. So that was, oh my goodness, 13 years ago. That hurts to say.
You're a baby.
Um, but those games in London were called the social media games.
Uh-huh.
And so that was the Paralympic games that essentially put the Paralympic games into the modern world, or put it into social media, put it into the general public's eyes, and really showed people with and without disabilities what the Paralympic Games were, what the options were. And the message of it was, we're athletes first. Um, and so showing that you're more than and capable of more than what your disability may,
Right.
you know, classify you as or put you in a box as.
Right. Well, 2012 is it brings back memories to me because that's when my stroke happened and that's where I lost my eyesight. So, yeah, that was a good year and a bad year, I guess, for
A
many
big
people.
year.
Yeah, it was a big year. I could have said awesome year, but anyhow, I'm having a great time with you guys. So what else do you want to talk about? Something that maybe you want to promote right now that I can make a little thing, a banner, and put it up here. Anything coming up that you know of that you want to plug?
Well, one thing that we're going to be doing this summer, it's going to be on August 1st and 2nd. It's still a bit in the works, is
Hmm.
we are having visually impaired veterans come to a town near Indianapolis, and they are going to be partnered up with disabled veterans. So basically, it's going to be almost, it's still, again, a work in progress as I'm saying it, but basically, it's going to be all different types of like a running activity, trying to go do a variety of different events just together. Um, I'm not saying that well at all, so I do apologize.
That's okay.
So,
Um,
like an inclusive veterans community event?
basically,
Yeah,
basically.
cool.
Um, but with just different, it's like more of a, I guess it would be a better way of saying it. So it's more of an obstacle course.
Okay.
And they're going to be doing that together. So they're going to have a disabled veteran and a visually impaired veteran working together to compete in this obstacle course.
Is that through Steve Baskus?
No, it's through a guy named Russ. Um,
Okay.
and him and Lonnie Bedwell actually are
Okay. Yeah.
kind of helping put it on and promoting it. But it should be a great event and something that for any visually impaired person who might be interested
Okay.
to be
I'm
able to
sure you'll
come out
have more
and check it
information
out.
on that later.
I
But
will. I will. Again, it's just a very much a work
no,
in progress, as you could
right.
tell, as I was trying to
Okay.
explain it.
Not a
And
problem.
Karen, when are the water ski clinics
Yeah, the
this
water
summer?
ski clinics are June 18th and 19th at Cicero, and July 23rd and 24th up in Culver. And that's great for anyone with any kind of disability to participate.
Nice. And Kat, you got anything you want to plug?
I don't have any specific events. I think, again, my advice to everyone is to find what you love first. Don't don't try to put yourself into just activities that you've seen. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you love knitting, there's still a way to knit. If you love running, there's still a way to run. I highly, highly suggest finding what you're passionate about and then figuring it out either by yourself, with your local community, or with your national BVI or disability community, and figuring out how to do what your heart wants to do.
Hmm.
Because, like we've said, there is a way to do anything. And the best way to figure it out is using the community to help find the passion and find how to do that passion.
Right.
And I would also add to that is that sometimes you don't know what your passion is, and you might try to do something different, like a new sport, and all of a sudden find out that that's something that you really, really love.
Right.
And if your local adaptive sports community, and if you need to find an adaptive sports community, you can always go to Move United website, and they can lead you to a local grassroots program. Um, but if they don't have your specific sport, let's say, for instance, like self-defense or something like that, there might be an organization that you go talk to, tell them about your disability, and they might be perfectly happy to have you participate in their program, and you kind of can teach, the other people how to improve their program and be more inclusive.
Right. Cool. There's again, this should have been a drinking game every time I say cool. Anyway, so can you tell me any more about the specifics of how people can get in touch with you if they're interested in one of these programs? We'll start with Karen.
So for me, you can always go to our Facebook page. It's RHI Sports Program on our Facebook page and Instagram page. That's where they see a lot of different events. Also to our website, I would highly recommend social media over our website. But if they just go to www.rhin.com, they can get to our website and click on the tab Adaptive Sports, or just emailing us at rhisportsprogram@rhin.com is also a good way to be able
Okay.
to get a hold of us pretty quickly.
All right. And how about Kat?
Yeah. So again, like Karen said, in Indiana, obviously RHI Sports in Indianapolis would be the place to reach out. But Move United has a national network you can look at. U.S. Association of Blind Athletes has a national membership network you can look at. Other organizations for sport specific, like USA Archery, USA Canoe, Achilles International, go to their websites and they all have listings of their chapters or local contacts. Um, and just reach out, be your own advocate. That's the best way to get involved. And if you want to reach out to me as a person with a physical disability or as a Paralympian or as someone to point you in the right direction or act as a springboard, best way to connect with me is either is on my Facebook, and you can just send me a friend request, send me a message request, and I'd be happy to help however I can.
Okay. And do you want to tell the people again your full name and how they can do that on
Yeah.
Facebook?
So if you want to look me up on Facebook, it's Cat, CAT, and then you can either search my maiden last name that I competed with, Bowcamp, BOUWKAMP, or if you want to just search my new last name, it's Cat Howard. A lot easier.
Okay. And man, I thank you both. I think we're going to wrap it up because I think we're getting close to that 30-minute mark. Um, Anyhow, is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to get out there?
I don't think so. I
You're
think
good, Karen?
Yeah, nope, I'm good. Again,
Kat?
we're good.
All
Be
right.
be your
Well,
own be your own advocate.
be
That's
your own
my final
advocate. That's one thing you'd have to say to people, right?
my final, yeah.
Okay. And if there's one thing you would like to say, Karen, what would it be?
let's go out and get involved. Go
There
do
you go.
something.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciated it. It's been a good time, and we should have done a drinking game.
Cool. Awesome.
Cool.
Next time.